All right, hello. I'm incredibly sorry for the fact that it's been a month and a half, 2 months since I've uploaded anything. Long story short, I've been halfway across the country for about a month for work. I'm currently in Louisiana in a hotel room. This ain't Butler. So, my apologies for letting work get in the way of what I do for fun. However, I've been sitting here, it's the weekend, I'm bored, and I want to get stuff done and actually show you guys a little bit of what I'd like to do moving forward with that truck build, because I'm hoping and praying with the fact that I've been working a lot, there's a good chance I should be able to pick one up somewhere. So, I'm gonna get working on just a little bit of a relay box thing. We're gonna take a Harbor Freight trip. I'm not bringing you along because I don't want it to get stolen or lost. So, I'm gonna make a Harbor Freight trip. I'm gonna get as much of the stuff as I can. Whatever I can, I'll throw together on an Amazon order, and I will see you back here in 20 minutes or so. All right. So that trip was not nearly as productive as I hoped it would be. They didn't have much of anything that I needed, so I'm just gonna get everything ordered on Amazon. However, since I've already got you here, I want to go through what I'm trying to build. I've put pictures, I've talked about it before, but I want to go through what I'm trying to build and how it's actually going to work, because I'm honestly rather proud of the system that I've got, and I want to brag about it because I think it's impressive. All right, so this is a circuit design system that I use for simulating stuff and making sure my stuff works. You can't see it. The name is Fallstud. I just have it focused down here. So I've got a pretty basic circuit setup right here. We've got 12-volt input, a switch, resistor just so stuff doesn't burn up, and then we go right to ground. So if we run this, shut it, you can see everything flows as it should, which is great. So here we've got the basics of the relay setup. Up here, this is the power input, and that's where it's flowing through. When we flick this switch, it flips the relay, sends power over here, and now power is coming out this side, which is very good. This is pretty crucial in understanding how much of anything I'm running works. So this circuit is quite a lot more complicated looking, but I promise it is just as simple as the last, well, a little bit as simple. So I'm going to run it and start, and we'll see how things go. So when the switch is open, this 12-volt source is feeding power into this relay, which is essentially another switch. It, in turn, is turning on this relay here. This relay in the car is going to be powering one of the two fuel pumps. This 12 volts down here is representing the pump because there's not a pump in this software. I don't know why this one's showing 10.9. I'm not that good with electronics, but that doesn't matter. The one that says 12 volts is the pump that is active. Down here, these two boxes are the fuel tanks, just to make things visually easier. The 5 volt and the 8 volt that are shown are to represent the two different fuel levels. And if you look at this, we have the 8 volts going up and through, and this voltmeter up here is measuring 8 volts. So when this pump relay is triggered, it's measuring from this tank. Now if we flip the switch, you can see everything switched. This relay turned, this one shut off, this one turned on. So now this pump is the one that's running and it's getting the 12 volts. And up here, we are reading a relay that is 5 volts. Again, you can switch this as many times as you want. When it's open, you're getting the 8-volt signal. You're getting the signal from tank 1 while the tank 1 pump is on. When you close it, you're getting the signal from tank 2 while the tank 2 pump is on. Hopefully this helped. We're going to build this soon, and I can maybe show a bit more for anybody who's better with hands-on rather than just diagrams. All right, and now that we have slightly better lighting and that's been explained, I've got an Amazon order for fuse boxes, and whenever those come in 2 days, I think it is, I'm going to sit you guys down at that desk and show you how I'm putting everything together and exactly how it's going to work. I can't test it because I left my test bench at home, because I didn't think I was going to be doing this. But I will see you in a couple days.
Several days later.
All right, so it's a new day after work. It's been 5-6 days since I recorded the last one. I put in an Amazon order for all the parts I need for the relay box, and it didn't show up for a number of days. And then I wait, it doesn't show up. So I canceled it and reordered it. And now, now I've got 2 full sets. I got 2 sets of tools, one's going to my dad, 2 sets of connectors, 2 relay boxes, which is great. And then I have right down here, and it's gonna rip. Right down here is about 600 feet of wire, which is wonderful. So I'm going to go and work on this a little bit. I'm gonna try and get a camera set up first. That's gonna be a pain. But we're making 2 relay boxes today, I guess. Let's get going. All right, I know absolutely nobody wants to actually watch me do all of this stuff, so I'm just going to take the time while we're here and talk about a little bit of stuff because I can. So the biggest thing that I tried to do with this is I want to keep the entire interior of the car as factory as possible. I don't want extra gauges. I don't want extra switches. I want one switch, one gauge, everything good. Just like that. One switch, really simple. The problem with trying to make everything that simple is that sometimes you got to make things a little bit more complicated, which is exactly what I ended up doing here. I'm making this whole box with this whole switch diagram. It's just a lot because I wanted to make things simple to use, and that's one of the few things that I've found when designing stuff. I'm not a teacher, so don't take this as me trying to teach you, but if you want to take a project like this and do it in any form, there's 3 ways to make something simple, and simple is always better. There's either simple to use, simple to build, or simple to maintain. The last one is more vehicle focused, but it's also important to keep in mind. The first of these, the easy to use, is absolutely by far the most complicated to build, especially in a situation like this. So that is just a matter of, I want a thing to happen, and I want to be able to do it after it's built in the simplest, most intuitive way possible. So think of it like a garage door. You go, you push a button, that door opens. There's a lot more to it. The button itself doesn't open the door, but the button activates everything. It's a lot easier than having to go through and pull the chain, turn on the motor with the switch, turn the motor off, make sure it's at the right level, all of that. It's one button to push, and it's done, and it works. That is the simple to use idea. Make it as user-friendly so that anybody off the street can come in and use it exactly as you intend. The simple to build is obviously a little more complicated to use in the end. Simple to build is good for a lot of prototypes, or if it's a one-off thing. But usually if something's simple to build and complicated to use, you want to try and make it as simple to use as possible, even if it makes it a little more complicated to build.
Obviously, you want a good combination of the two of these. You don't want something that's incredibly convoluted to build and also very difficult to use. If you have to pick one of the two, personally, I would pick the simple to use over the simple to build. But again, that's my personal preference. Everybody has their own thing. Building things is absolutely challenging, and sometimes it is difficult to know where to start. So starting simple is really good. A lot of this, I did come up with this entire system in one shot, but that was after a lot of thought and a lot of prep and a little bit of planning. So I didn't just create a really complicated system out of absolutely nowhere. I had some simple builds beforehand and some preparation, and that's what got me here. So you build your stuff simple. When you're testing it, when you're seeing if it works, and when you have the final product, like I've been building in the background for however long, that's when you lock in and you make sure that it is simple to use as you can make it. As for simple to maintain, well, that's mostly an automotive thing. So you've potentially seen the memes of, oh, German cars are so hard to repair because everything's buried. And that's true. They're engineered incredibly well, and they're fairly easy to use, all things considered. But you can't maintain them. When something breaks, it's so well put together that you gotta rip everything apart. And when you're doing something that's going to need maintenance, if it's going to be a long-term thing and you know it's going to need maintenance, make sure you can access it. Like, I'll put a drawing here of a design I have for the fuel pump system that's going to go behind all of this. This fuel pump is designed so that I can just pull off a cover and replace individual parts. Replace the filter, replace the regulator, replace the pump. That way it's not all one unit, I don't have to drop a tank, and it's simple to maintain. Now, that was more difficult to design and to build, but again, there's another real-life example, is that, again, it's easier to maintain, but you gotta put a little bit more work into actually making it user-friendly. As for what I'm doing with the rest of this truck, I honestly don't know yet. If you follow my Instagram or my Facebook page, which if you're not, you absolutely should. You get a lot more updates than you're going to get on videos, just because I don't have all that much time because of work. But if you've been following and you've seen the posts I've made, you know that I found an engine for the truck. And that's going to be the next video. I'm going to be ripping that down, and that's going to be something going quite a lot forward, is that I have an engine and I'm going to work on it for the truck. Because, hey, that's the biggest part of this truck, is being able to drive it. After that, I honestly don't know. It's going to be trying to find a body, trying to find all the rest of the parts, putting them together, and kind of pulling you guys along the way. I do want Reddit user Straight Sixes for helping me with quite a lot of stuff. I put up a couple pictures of this fuel system, and we talked for a while about, how are we going to do the actual fuel pump? How are we going to do the filter, the regulator? And that's something that I hadn't thought of before. So if you're looking for lessons, there's another one. You're going to miss stuff, and sometimes you might rely on other people to actually get things done. And that's perfectly okay if you have to do that. We're getting to the end of this time lapse, so I'm going to shut up because past me is talking again, and I don't remember if he has anything important to say.
Alright, so that took a lot longer than I was expecting, just because I had to fight with wires and lengths. I forgot how deep these went. But yeah, I got a full relay box built. I got all 6 relays, all the fuses, all the wires over here labeled pretty well. Diagrams are going to go on this side so you can see what's what. The underside is a bit of a mess, but I mean, you'll have that from time to time. I know I said I was building 2 boxes. Here's box number 2. I honestly got a little bit annoyed with this one, so what I think I'm gonna do tomorrow, maybe another day,
is I'm going to take all of these wires, except for these ones, I think. I'm going to take the rest of the wires out, might pull these and try and reuse the connectors, and then get measurements for all of these wires, because if I want to make more of these, and if I can get the proper measurements for each wire going between pins, that'll make it a lot easier. This one was coming outside with me for a project tomorrow, and you guys aren't going to know about that until the next video comes out, because listen, I like to share information, but I gotta keep a couple secrets. I need content, so I'm not throwing everything into one video. So this one's probably gonna be a little bit shorter, or a lot of me talking and explaining random crap. And if I do anything more on this and change anything, I'll probably get a little bit of footage of whenever I'm doing the dimensioning and writing tomorrow. But for now, that's all I've got. We'll see how things end up turning out.